skirt is in the picture. I'm making the skirt. Y'all, that's what y'all see right there. Right there. Dang, did it update? Um, dang, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna have to send that to my email. Excuse me, y'all. Please forgive me, please forgive me. Wait, what? OMG. This is not fair to me. Y'all, I gotta get this. Y'all gonna have to bear with me. Bear with me. It's always something. I gotta get this connected to the Wi-Fi right quick. Oh my gosh, this is irritating. Let me see. Oh my goodness. This is irritating. Oh my goodness. I can't get my note until y'all. I might have to start this again. 'Cause I got to figure out how to get these out. I don't want to start it again. Oh my gosh. This is not a clear picture. It's not added. Device added to your account on iPhone. Okay, y'all. Jesus. Well, it's been 5 minutes. Oh, Lord, I done broke a sweat. Just trying to get my notes to where I can see them. Goodness grief, is now people's need a fan. Welcome, 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 y'all. It's just Sylvie. It's just me. Y'all see what it say in my about information. I changed a little bit. Ain't no more Sylvie 414. It's just Sylvie. Some might say devil's advocate. But I'm definitely a conversation starter. I know the peoples don't be liking when you call yourself devil's advocate. Even when I said it to Boo, she started to talk, not particularly talk against it, but talk against it in a sense. And then I said to her, "Boo, the things that you be telling me, the things you be talking to me about, church folks would definitely call you a devil's advocate. But all that it means to be a devil's advocate is to see things from another view. Being a devil's advocate ain't changing the word of God. Being the devil's advocate ain't telling me that I am not a child of God. But some people's minds are so closed about certain situations that they just refuse to see another side. How else does one reach the point of understanding if we can never play devil's advocate to see another side? So, with that being said, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. Without a don't be the step two, step two, step two, step two. It's been a long time, YouTube. I haven't been up here in quite some time. I done been on Facebook a couple of times. Me and brother and Burner Gang. Y'all go check out them videos. But I ain't been to YouTube in quite some time, so it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back with you, YouTube. It's been a spell. I hope that you are having a magnificent start to your week. And if you are not having a magnificent start to your week, I hope things get better. There's always the opportunity for things to get better. I hope that we are in the midst of some self awareness, some self analyzation every day. That is what helps us to get better. That has not one thing to do with income or anything like that. Being the best you is not connected to how much money one has. If it were, then Kanye would have never had the need to say the people highest up have the lowest self-esteem. So I commented that on a post, and we're going to talk about the post that I commented that on in this video. And two people came in and were like, "You're quoting Kanye. You're an adult and you're quoting Kanye. Well, is it Kanye an adult?" And I listen to hip hop, so if there is a quote to be said, and it's in a hip hop song, especially if it's one I like, I bet you wouldn't have no problem if I was saying they're not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. You ain't gonna be walking around saying you quoting Kendrick. That's all I see everywhere. I have had two people in the last 24 hours just say, "I am tired, Caesar. Tired. What y'all tired of? Seeing Kendrick everywhere I go? Everywhere. I was tired when the beef was going on up here, and they not like us. They not like us. They not like us." And here we go again. It's not a song that I would went out and looked for, but sometimes you know that song that you can't help but like. You can't help but like that song because why? Because it's playing in your ear all the time. They not like us. You get it. They not like us. Understand me? See that halftime show in a different light. I'm not great on those kind of explanations, but if you want to see a different explanation than those that have been going all around the social medias, go check out New Breed. New Breed, Nubreed, and look at his video breakdown of the halftime show. Only for those that can stand to see another side. You know, devil's advocate be trying to get y'all to see another side. Not just what the masses see, because it's always sometimes more than what the masses see. There's nothing wrong with what the masses see all the time, but you know, sometimes the masses don't want to see another side. That's all that I'm saying. But if you are amongst the people that would like to see a different side, go check out his video. Well, y'all, let me tell you something. I don't know how many of you may have Boy Scouts, know if any of you have had Boy Scouts, have been a Boy Scout, know Boy Scouts. But I'm finna recline a little bit. Finna recline. Slade still be wanting some elevation. They talking about pinch nerves and stuff. Yeah, we don't want no problems. So, if you know anybody that been a Boy Scout, I don't know if you are privy to this information. The Boy Scouts of America, they are no longer going to be known as the Boy Scouts of America. They are going to be changing their name and may already have done it. And I was watching the TV news for this because some people be like, you be on the internet and you be getting that internet stuff like that. But you're going to find out a lot of times that stuff be on the internet. Sometimes make it to the news because the news be over here watching the internet because y'all know I had told y'all. Social media is the new entertainment industry. And Sylvia is here to stay with her 2,000 plus videos and all. Still growing organically. I thank you, YouTube. I got 370 subscribers right now, on my way to 400. Now, the Boy Scouts of America is going to be changing to Scouting America. They are going to be changing their name so that they can include more girls. Don't we have Girl Scouts of America for that? Are there boys in the Girl Scouts? Does there want to be boys in the Girl Scouts? Something won't come off my glasses. Why are they changing their names so that they can add girls? Why are girls? And I understand, ladies, that we feel like anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. But can they have anything to themselves? Like, why are girls trying to go in? I see Girl Scouts everywhere. I barely ever see the Boy Scouts. When I saw those Boy Scouts standing out at Lowe's, I was like, whoa, look at there. I think I was with Philip. Wow, look at there, Philip. It's Boy Scouts. I didn't even think that they ever come out. Because everywhere you go, you see the Girl Scouts. I need Girl Scout cookies. I don't think it's too late. I need to find someone with Girl Scout cookies. I don't really need Girl Scout cookies because I am on a journey, y'all. I am on a journey, y'all. Because the God had said, I gave you 2 years to get comfortable, to rest, to be easy. And I just got plumper and plumper. Let me tell you something. This shirt did me wrong. I just got plumper and plumper because I was excited and happy to have my own place because I have been bouncing around since 2016 from pillar to post, living with family and friends and in homeless shelters and everything. Renting a room here, renting a room there. And mind you, I love both of my rooms. Because God never blessed me. I went renting a room to have to be in a rooming house. And to God be the glory for rooming houses because people come off the streets and go into rooming houses. But God knew that, who, Lord, I don't want to be in no rooming house. Well, I don't want to be in no rooming house. So my first experience with renting a room was a man who had bought a building and he set it up like a hotel. Like he had 4 rooms in there. We all had our own separate entrances. There was a security entrance to get in the door. So we all had different passcodes to get in the door. And we had our own separate bathrooms and everything like that. Our room had everything we needed. Except for a kitchen. There was no kitchen in there. So we had our cooking appliances in our room. And were we always compliant with what he wanted? Probably not, because he was supposed to be fixing up the kitchen so that we could use it. And he was doing, we're going to talk about bringing the past into new relationships because relationships Romantic ones are romantic ones, but relationships are relationships. So because of how old tenants did, his relationship with old tenants and how they used the kitchen, he didn't want to fix up the kitchen for what he even said we're better tenants. We were better tenants. But you never gave us the option of being able to see if we were going to handle that kitchen correctly. So he ain't want certain things in our home. And I ain't going to say I complied, but I don't know how the other people did. They probably did comply. You know, just saying. And then the second time that I lived in a room was right before I came here. I lived with two young ladies that were in the Navy. Um, and I told them all the time how much they reminded me of my young ladies. And I spoke with the owner. I'm so nosy, y'all. I spoke with the owner. Well, they were co-owners. They bought the house together. Um, but Emma is the one that I communicated with a little more often. I spoke with Emma about how she just reminded me of because they were white, and there was a lot of things that went on in the house that reminded me of black home. And I was like, oh, this reminds me of black home, like grease on the stove and all that stuff in the can. You know, little things, little things. I told her often, and we just used to laugh together about it. But yes, those were the two instances that I rented a room. Um, but other than that, yes, I had been from pillar to post. So I got here and I began to put on weight. Let me tell you something about me. I don't have to call it the F word. I got fat. I put on weight. That young lady said that you could call her big back, but you couldn't call her fat. But she called the skinny people skinny, but you couldn't call her fat. How does any of that work? We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But right now, we're going to finish talking about the Boy Scouts of America changing their name to Scouting of America so that they can include girls. And said so that they can include, the news said, the news did not say LGBTQ. The news said so they can include more gay people. But I said LGBTQ. Fair use. It's all just true jokes. We just talking, chopping it up and stuff. But all that I said was, wouldn't those be boys too? But my opinion is that this is something that is probably going to be affected by allowing trans in. And I'm going to say it about all the whole LGBTQ, because I'm not saying that children don't, depending on the age, begin to have crushes. And if they are LGBTQ, if at childhood they know, then they wouldn't be having crushes on their same sex. But I'm always going to say that's not what children should be focused on. Period. I said it to my daughters. I just had daughters. Y'all shouldn't be focused on that. I said it to my daughters into teenage years. My daughters were both adults out of high school when they started having sex. And Lord knows I was gracious. Excuse me, I was grateful to God for that. I didn't even want them to do it when they did it, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And we look at that differently than men look at it. But if you're changing the name of the Boy Scouts so that we can begin to think in any type of sexual ways about people entering into the Boy Scouts, I don't particularly agree with that. And I'm not saying keep gay people out of the Boy Scouts. I'm saying, why are you changing it from the Boy Scouts of America? Because they Boy Scouts. Girls got Girl Scouts. But that's just my opinion. My babies only made it to the Brownies, and they didn't want to do it anymore, and I wasn't going to force them to do it. Because I was looking for them some troops once we moved down here, but they wasn't interested like they were interested in Pennsylvania. So that was that. So let's talk about Miss Banks since we started. Then I'm gonna read the scripture, and then we're gonna move on. Miss Dank said, and this will be Dank Demas. Dank Demas is a female rapper, and Dank Demas is suing Lyft right now. Dank Demas is suing Lyft. She's from Detroit, and in Detroit, there is a law that says that you are not supposed to discriminate against people because of their weight. From every video that I have seen, and there's not much out there, there was nothing that man did that was rude or discriminatory. That Lyft driver, we can try to wonder if things would have been different if it would have been a black driver. We can try to wonder if things would have been different if it would have been a woman driver. But I watched one video about it that brought my realization to the fact that you could hear the man's car rattling already, even though he was speaking about the tires. But she said that she is nowhere near my 600-pound life, but she's like 500. I want to say either 598 or 528. She was very, very close to my 600-pound life. And shout out to her. She has lost 80 pounds. She is working with a nutritionist. It's not easy to lose weight. I'm team that. It is not easy to lose weight. I have said that before. It is so very easy to put that weight on. It is so very hard for women to take that weight off. But what you can't be doing is living inside your head, talking about in your head you skinny and you don't know that you can't do things until you start to do things. That man had a small car. And the man that was on the Breakfast Club with her said that it was a Mercedes, and she's been in a Mercedes like that before. That man had a very small car. And when she would have put her weight in that car, it was going to weigh it down. And there is the potential that it would have ruined his tires. Was Lyft going to pay for that? She was talking Lyft should check their people's tires. You know how many drivers Lyft got? Like, these people are responsible for their own stuff. Lyft ain't paying for their wear and tear. So why is Lyft going? You want everything to just accommodate you. You want Lyft to start checking people's tires so that they can make sure that they can hold you because you skinny in your head. And most of the videos that I saw with vehicles that she was in was bigger vehicles, but she said that her and her family, she said her mama was kind of big, which don't particularly mean she was big. She said her daddy was big, her mama was kind of big. She said they used to all get in their PT Cruiser. That might have been so. I can't yay or nay. But I'm going to go with the consensus. If everywhere you go, somebody has to go and do something extra that they wouldn't have to do on average because of how you feel. Emotions and wanting the world to change so that your emotions sit right, it's not really rational. It's not really rational. The Breakfast Club had to go and pull a piece of their sectional out of the corner so that she could sit in it. And shout out to them because they pulled a piece of the sectional out of the corner so that she could sit in it. But that's not normal. I'm pretty sure it's plus size people that they don't have to go and pull a chair out of the corner, a sofa out of the corner, so that they could fit in it so that they can sit at the mic. And I don't know if anybody else paid attention, but by the time she slid into that chair, she was breathing profusely. Now, anybody that know me know they'll tell you that I had an issue with the way Biggie used to breathe. And I've spoken it out of my mouth on several occasions. He could barely breathe. Most of us, when we're fat, we want to or attempt to do something about it. And even if we're not, if you confident where you at, confident where you at. But body, let me tell you what Islam said about body positivity, and I kind of agree. I don't feel like anybody should just be. I can't control it. And I say that you gotta have thick skin on social media because people have the right to say what they want to say. And hurting your feelings is not infringing on your rights. It's just hurting your feelings. That's what I believe was going on with that lift. Her feelings were hurt because that man said, "I can't take you." Suppose she would have got in the car and he'd have got in an accident. Because anybody that have seen the video, do you believe that she would have been able to put on a seatbelt in that small car? Suppose she'd have got in the car and he'd have got in an accident, then you'd have been at fault for that because she ain't had no seatbelt. Because somebody can tell you to put your seatbelt on in their back seat, or they won't drive you. The young lady, the lift that I was just in 2 days ago, I didn't listen, but that would have been on me because she had it posted plainly. Please put your seatbelt on in her back seat. So if that young lady could not put her seatbelt on, what was he gonna do? He was gonna be at fault for that too. He wasn't rude to her. He wasn't disrespectful to her. He told her what she had been told plenty of times in the past, because when she went on Deb Anthony's show, Deb Anthony said the same thing. He ain't even tell her to go lose weight. He just told her that my tires can't take your weight. Islam said that he believes body positivity is code for lack of discipline. And I know that every reason, because I put in the comment, if it was a medical reason, that's something different. And they're saying that she has a thyroid issue. I lost this weight with a thyroid issue. My taking off of what I just say, I got comfortable. She said that after her dad passed away, they asked her was she depressed because she said she had lost some weight and then she went back up to 500 and something pounds after her dad passed away. They asked her was she depressed. She said, I don't know. How you answer this? I don't know, all across the board. But the trainer said something about emotional eating. So you're eating emotionally. The trainer mentioned the mental having to be right in order to, your mentality has to be set in place that this is what you're going to do because I have lost this weight and will be losing this weight again with the thyroid issue. And I know what the thyroid can do. I have been ill due to not taking care of my thyroid. Not even, I wasn't even this heavy. I was at my lower weight when I got ill because I was not taking care of my thyroid. But self-care is self-care is self-care. And I wish her all the best. But if she is losing weight and she is still emotional, her mentality is not right, and anytime something go down, she gonna put that weight back on. And that's not, that has nothing to do with anything outward and everything to do with everything inward. Inward. It's in us. We can do all things through the Christ that gives us strength. It's in us. But to be blaming people and pushing it outward, that's a bit much. She says she don't shop at big people places. I don't shop at big because they asked her, do she shop at plus size stores? I don't shop at plus size stores. I go to Rainbow. Or if you go to Rainbow, 'cause I go to Rainbow, there be cute things in Rainbow. But guess what? Right now, and I have shopped on both sides of Rainbow. When I lost the weight, my girlfriend had to say to me, Missy, that why are you still shopping on this side of the store? And it was because my mentality still in big girl status. The Breakfast Club said that somebody they know that lost the weight say he wants to put the weight back on because he don't feel like himself. All this weight it's not healthy. If you breathing out of control before you get somewhere, I don't care what they say about cholesterol and all that stuff. You supposed to be able to breathe regularly. So if you got to slide into a chair, you can't breathe. That is not healthy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying this about Rainbow. She can't shop on the smaller side of Rainbow. But if she trying to put anything on the smaller side of Rainbow, she is stretching it out massively. Because when I can't shop on the smaller side of Rainbow, I can't shop on the smaller side of the Rainbow. And I'm fat. She fatter than me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand. I would rather nobody call me big back. You have a problem with being called fat. You just sat up there to skinny people, and it was crazy. I went down into the comments. I commented, so they can be the skinny people, but she got to be the F word. Charlamagne thought she was talking about the real slur F word for the LGBT. But somebody else commented the same thing. So she can call skinny people skinny, but we can't call her fat. That's the emotion of it all. That's the emotion of it all. You want accommodations for you. You should be the S people. That's why they can't be called the S people. Because guess what? I know some skinny people that don't like being skinny. My daughter was one of them. God gave her the thickness that she was looking for. And she is in a point where she is understanding. Be clear and precise with what you ask God, because God will give you what you want. And no, my daughter is not fat. She's thick in the right places. But she wanted boobs and she just got a little more than she asked that she bargained for. Girl, your mama and your sister always was boobalicious. I don't know why you ain't know if you don't ask God like you supposed to. You gotta be specific. God, you gotta be specific. Lossy. Okay, so we're gonna read this word right quick. And I have an old word, but it fits. We're gonna talk a little bit about in the midst of this word, we're gonna talk a little bit about this Ready to Love that I've been watching. And then we're gonna get into TK and his post. That's where I put the people highest up, got the low self-esteem. And Ringo TV speaking about DJ Twitch and Allison Holker, because she done released this book. People articles that she was doing in the past, lifting him up per se. I don't even really think that they were lifting him up, but what they weren't doing was dragging him. But in my opinion, they were keeping his name alive to give her some relevance. Because the People article magazines prior to the one that talked about her getting a house, she did a couple of them just talking about how they give you and to God be the glory when you lose somebody. But it has always felt like she kept doing those People articles so that she can keep some relevance in her life. I had already said on the video that I felt like whenever I watched the dancing and things like that, she wasn't really getting liked and viewed unless there were ones that had Twitch in them. So we'll get back to that. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. That is Proverbs 21:19. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. Well, let's start with a contentious man. so that we won't feel ganged up on a little bit, ladies. LaRon. LaRon was on Ready to Love season 9, and he was this one. Somebody came on to the reunion show and was basically like he was a fronter. He was putting on a front, putting on airs, pretending that he was this person that he was not. So he got contentious, and I, in my opinion, believe that contention is a feminine trait. Bible is saying it's better to dwell in the wilderness. You know, the wilderness could be cold, it could be terrible weather, like it could be horrible out in the wilderness. It could be extremely hot. In the wilderness, you out there by yourself, ain't nobody around. In the wilderness, it is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. He got contentious and angry because you're in the midst, because he was always talking about him being in the streets. I went and looked on his Instagram page. Everything on his Instagram page is as if he didn't have an Instagram page until he did Ready to Love. Like, everything is showy. He had to show you himself at the Mercedes dealer, you know, and he had to show you his party life. But most of it was Ready to Love stuff. I don't see anything past that. But he was dating Maya, and they went out to the club. And my whole thing is, and I said it about the women. That's why I say contention is, in my opinion, and I didn't even see it when I went and looked it up in Strong's if it was a feminine, because you know Strong's will tell you if it's a feminine verb or a masculine noun. It'll tell you those things. And I didn't look that in Strong's. But I say it about a lot of the women on those shows. This is a process that is about 2 months long. Everybody, I ain't saying that it's not a thing that there can be love at first sight. Everybody ain't falling in love at first sight, first and foremost. Everybody is not doing that. This is a show where you are supposed to be getting to know different people. There are different people there that you may have connections with. Some people had connections with multiple people, multiple being more than two. But the women, a lot of times, when you got a connection with the man and you feel like yours is the deepest connection, or he may have told you yours was the deepest connection, now you want him to cut everything on all the rest of the connection. Y'all don't know each other. You're trying to get to know each other. I said even after there in the nine seasons, and if there are others that are married, I don't know. I ain't seen nobody else, but I started watching it based off of Love and Marriage DC, watching Joy and Clifton, because Ashley said that Ashley called Clifton a bitch, and was saying that he liked to come at the necks of women. So that made me go start watching Ready to Love so that I could see his season, because he didn't come at her neck on that show. He did like that a little bit, but he wasn't even in her space, in her face. So when she said that, when she called him out of his name and said that he come at the necks of women, I'm like, well, let me go see for myself, because I know how we can be, ladies. We are team cap for one another, whether we're wrong or not. And that is not the way any of this is supposed to work. If I truly love you, it is good, bad, and different, but I should not be blinded to your behavior and just not willing to check your behavior. We're going to talk about a young lady who had a connection like that, Janelle. I forget what the young man's name that she was connected with, but they ain't together no more. And he was team, I'm going to let her do whatever she want to do, whatever she say she going to do it when she is be a mean girl. Because many people agreed that was a mean girl spirit. They said it on the reunion show. It's a mean girl spirit. But if you have a man that's not going to be willing to love you truthfully, and that is to check you when you're wrong, that ain't the right man. But back to LaRon. I said all that to say that the women be up here contentious and wanting to not allow the men to go through the process. But LaRon and Maya go out to the club, and she said the man just came up to her and spoke to her. And she spoke back. She said she's a social butterfly. He never even said he was trying to holler at her or anything. He just felt like because they were together, no man should have came up and spoke to her. I don't know how much of an agreement. I have people that I know that have been married for 20 plus years that still that have been married before that still are in relationship. That first marriage is the father of her children. They have a relationship. They speak. Because there's some men that wouldn't even want you to do that. Like they don't want you talking to any other man. There is a lack of confidence in that. But LaRon showed his lack of confidence because at the moment that he saw the man speak to her, he cussed her out. And then thought that you could tell her with your words that you weren't going to do it again. No, that is behavior. You saw him all across the show. He had already, what's the other woman's name? Where is that? Down here. Koshia. He had already got a little amp with Koshia. Saw him get amp with one of the men. So you have an issue with anger. Contention is anger and discord and strife. So you have that issue within you, Mr. LaRon. I think his name is LaRon Wise. Said on his Instagram page. Okay, so we done talked about the man. But this scripture is talking about us, ladies. Because we would be good that God will make them being, and never do anything like that and do everything we want them to do. But it's the scripture telling you that it is better for the man to go out into the wilderness than to be in the presence of contention. But we think that the man is just supposed to sit there and want to be amongst discord and strife and anger and brawling. He just supposed to be good. Because he just supposed to, the ladies on made to make a move, ready to love, make a move, said that if you meet the right woman, you just gonna bend. He just supposed to bend under all that contention. That's not how any of that works, ladies. That's not how any of that works. So if we want them to bend for us, where's the bending for them? If they say they don't want to be around, or if they say they don't like to argue, why do they have to continue to battle with your argumentativeness? God told me that enough times to make me listen. And I'm not perfect. But argumentativeness is contention. And God said it. Just began to allow it to come through the voices of men. But the word was already the word. Before man said it to me. Before man said it. And this one, and this is just a friend. There is not one romance that has been had between the ogre and I, but he's been my friend for a few years now. There is intimate relation. We ain't held no hands. That's why I know intimacy goes deeper. And any of that romantic stuff can never go. I respect his request, even though it be hard for him. Woo! I just had to call him the other day. Breathe. Breathe a couple of times before I said what I said. Because I want you to understand that I mean what I say. You don't want me to argue. I don't want to have to repeat myself. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes they have to listen to you argue. But if you are rationalizing why it's okay for you to do that because you're a woman, especially if you're a woman of God, we're going to talk about Janelle and Jessica, women of God. I would never tell somebody they're not a woman of God. But if we don't represent the Most High God correctly, I will say that. Why? Because God won't allow me to continue to misrepresent. I always tell y'all I'm talking to me first. Didn't I just tell y'all God told me I was contentious and then started, God gave the word and then started speaking it through me. And we can try to pick this word up on there. I think a man might have added that. It might not even be God's words. Ooh, woe to you if you got to get up there and stand before judgment to find out. If they was really God's words, I'd say they're God's words because I know this situation. I know this situation. A wilderness is a desert land. That's what I just said. It says the refuge to which the persecuted man must flee. You know, Jesus had to go out into the wilderness. It wasn't because of a contentious woman. It's because God was going to do a work through Jesus. Sometimes God puts us in a wilderness season. Feel like you ain't got nobody around. You feel kind of alone, but you know that you got God. But sometimes you run people to the wilderness, contentious woman, because you don't want to look at yourself. It says a contentious woman is angry, fretful, quarrelsome, and an annoyance. An annoyance that accompanies the affliction. So it's very annoying. Strong's describes it as strife and discord. And guess what? When I went in to look up that word, there were a lot of proverb verses. The proverb verses are the first of the wisdom books. People who are in relationship with the Most High God and people who are not in relation with the Most High God look to the Proverbs for wisdom. There are a lot of proverb verses speaking about discord, strife, and contention. But this one is speaking about it in women. Catch it, ladies! Because the God wants us to catch it. Talkative and passionate. And guess what? When I went to look up passion, I'm gonna look it up again. I don't know why I did that, Lord. I'm gonna look it up again, just so y'all could adamonline.com. So let's search passionate. Angry, emotional, subject to emotions. Okay? Now, I just got finished watching Ready to Love, Make a Move. And that brought four of the young ladies from four different seasons so that they can find love. And then we got this Ashley up here. This Ashley who was courting Donald. This Ashley who admitted after Tamika spoke with her about having had issues with two other women, not issues with them personally, but they were doing blind dates, and one of the other two young ladies in the When you're in the dating scene, if you're just casually dating, you don't know if the man is dating someone else or not. So because you find out the man is dating someone else, you're casually dating. These shows are not long enough to be serious. This is still casual stuff. I had the most respect for the people that said we can continue this friendship to see where it goes after the show. But there were women up there that was holding deep to these men like, yo, you my man, and you're not supposed to be doing this, and you're not supposed to be doing that. So Ashley, the second woman, was her friend from one of the seasons. From the season she was on, Stormy. And Stormy ran off the stage on the reunion show because she hadn't even seen the way Ashley was speaking about feeling as though she came in and made Ashley the third wheel on the date that she was supposed to be coming in and just, talking to the man about Ashley. She didn't like that she was dressed. She said that Stormy was like, I dress like this wherever I go. If I'm going out, I'm dressed. So Ashley said she was overdressed for the date. Ashley wound up leaving the table. And then she wound up leaving that dude alone. So she said she was gonna stick it out with Donald. She brought Donald back as a I said he was just waiting for her to call him back. Like she called him back because the other dude started messing up. I said all of that to say Tamika, who was the matchmaker, wound up questioning whether she had an issue with her own self worth. And she said, yes, she is still working on that. I spoke with my girlfriend on yesterday and we were content. Y'all know I talk about commanding these rooms. I don't see you. I don't see you. Because guess what? If we together and he wants you, he wasn't for you. But one thing for sure and two things for certain. I am not bothered, affected, even in my fatness, by what any other woman feels like she brings. What I bring. I am who I am. Has nothing to do with this at this point. But she saw those women in a way as if they were her competition because her self-worth was not where it should be. And to that, I even asked, are you ready to even be on a show called Ready to Love if your self-worth is not intact? If your self-worth is how you feel about yourself, it's how you love yourself. If you're not loving yourself properly, how can you expect someone else to love you properly? How do you even know if they're loving you properly if you have not yet learned to love yourself properly? So all of that to say, her and Donald were sitting at the table and they were into it. I forget what they were into it about. But she just begins to scream on him. And he advised her, why are you talking down to? Oh, because when he brought his friends, the friend and her got into it. I don't even think that was a friend. I really think that was a friend that was just looking out for his best interest. She was talking about she had the man a wardrobe because she ain't like that he wore suits all the time. It's not for you to dress that man. That man came in like he came in. How do you already got a wardrobe for this man? You're trying to dress this man that you ain't even know for 2 good months. 2 of them. And you try to dress him. So his friend had an issue with that. And she had an issue with the fact that Donald didn't know what to do. Donald was sitting there like, ooh. It already said that he was very passive. He was very mild-mannered. So once them two feisty women got into it, he was just like, ooh. And she was like, you're letting me be attacked. He just felt like she was going to be able to handle her own. That was my opinion on it. But then when you speak to him about it, He told you he felt like you were talking down to him, and you looked at him and said, I'm just passionate. What I just tell y'all passionate means? I'm just passionate. I'm just angry and emotional. I'm just subject to my emotions when I talk. I asked Boo the other day, and I'm like, Boo, I started naming off the five senses: smell, touch, sight, hearing, and taste. Where emotions fit into that, Boo? All of them. Woo! All of them. When we are subject to what we taste, when we are subject to what we see, when we are subject to what we hear, when we are subject to what we feel, because that's touch. Did I say see? What's the last one? Here. When we are subject to what we smell, we are subject to our emotions. Subject means they control us. They control us. And dear hearts, when I went to Ivy to visit, and that woman told me that I was confused 2 times and told me that she wasn't going to say nothing about the fact that I worship on Saturday with the Seventh-day Adventists, and I told her, go holler at the God. When I went to Ivy on that Sunday and was supposed to be at Ivy on the previous Sunday, God said, no, I want you there on this Sunday so that you can know that we're not supposed to be subject to our five senses. That's what Pastor Kevin Swan had taught on that Sunday that I made it there. When you walk in the spirit, man, you are not subject to your emotions. It is the spirit, man. Those that walk in the spirit who are sons of God. If you are led by your emotions, you cannot. You ain't even gonna think about humbling yourself, which is what Pastor P preached on the Saturday prior. Humbling ourselves. If my people, he called that verse out. Y'all know I'd be up here if my people who are called by my name. Humble ourselves. And guess what both of them said? God is not going to do it. God will humble you. God said humble yourself. And God said do the work of not being controlled by your emotions yourself. So when that man told her that I feel like you're talking down to me, and she said I'm just passionate, that was rationalization for you to be angry and emotional. And that is no bueno. So let's get back to this word. So we done talked about Ashley just. And I say again. So was he supposed to just being like Tamika said? If she told who she tell that? I forget what their names was, but their names was the same except for one letter. That was Vernisha's, both of Vernisha's choices. But she told the one that she didn't choose either of them, but the first one that she let go. She kept him for the majority of the show and then let him go. Because he believes in gender roles. And she kept saying, talking about these men believe in gender roles. You can't tell me no different. Men believe in gender roles, but that man said he was willing to compromise, but not being. Why does he have to being? Why so many bends? Why so many bends? That's a contradiction to say that you're looking for a man's man and think that he's not going to have some type of. Typically, men's men are going to be more traditional men, and they laugh because he said he had a woman now, and he said that she was the. They asked, "Well, isn't a traditional woman?" And then they laughed. I didn't think there was a such thing as traditional women anymore. I know some. I know some. And there's so many shows out here talking about finding love and all of this stuff like that, but then you want to find love and you want a man to bend to your will instead of be willing to compromise. The man called out the word compromise, but you said no, bend. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Let me tell you what I've heard a lot about marriage in this last week. That you will love someone and not like them all the time. They said that, what you call it, said that on Love and Marriage DC. Not the Silvers. Jamie and his wife. The one that got the baby that looked like Al B. Shore. Yes. You're not always going to like them. That's where love comes in. But love is not all that it takes to make a marriage work. Did my marriage work? No. Why? Ask God about it. Go watch my video that I done said it. I done said it. I done said, Lord, if I got to be single for the rest of my life. But there is grace, potentially, for why I ended my marriage. And I'm willing to be single for the rest of my life, if that's what God say. But there is work to be done. And there will let me talk about me. There were women older than me that chose to stay for the things that I chose to leave for. I can't talk about anybody's peace of mind. But what I can say is while so many people choose to disrespect people that have gender roles and people that stayed through a whole lot of mess, your asses wouldn't be here without many of them. Many of them. Had they not stayed, or you want to look down your nose at them, and a lot of y'all is still single, ready for somebody to bend. IJS says no social discomfort is compared to that of an ill-tempered wife. You just arguing all over the place. Arguing. Complaining. I've asked this question, and I would love an answer. Maybe it's somebody that watched me that's living the life that you don't want to give up because it's a life of status and power, and you get to go out and spin the bag and all of that stuff like that. You might even be a housewife. You get to go out and spin the bag how you want to, but then you like, you ain't never home. You ain't never home. I watched the video that said you're either gonna have this type of one of these type of men, and it basically was like he all good except for this thing. But then some of us don't. You think that you're gonna have perfection. That's what Bernicia said. If I could have mixed y'all two together, I remember saying that. And I did see some attributes in that man. Well, guess what? And that man ain't together. I saw some attributes from two of the people that I said, the Lord, if you could mix them two together. But me and that man ain't together. That would be perfection. That's what I thought about when I heard it today, and I called myself back into it. That would be perfection. You can mix two together and get what you want. That's getting everything you want in the man. Where does the work have to be done in that? It said he would rather be in a violent rainstorm. I told you the wilderness. It's some types of weather that go out there. Guess what? That stuff only hitting the body. Said in a violent rainstorm with beasts of prey. Cause they no telling what might be out there. What creepy, crawly, slippery, slitheries, and the like might be out there in the violent wilderness. He don't got. They said he is want for the necessities of. He don't got nothing he need. He left left it all in the palace with you. You can have it all. I'm getting ready to go out here into the wilderness, into this violent rain with these beasts of prey because my mind gonna be at peace. My body might be wet. I might get gnawed on a little bit. But my mind gonna be at peace. Ladies. I say now, ladies. Gotta catch it. He might be able to get him some rest out there in the wilderness. Doesn't matter if you got money, don't matter if you don't. That contentious woman is going to be that contentious woman. Said no creature is more lovely than a woman who exhibits the precious graces of the Spirit of God. Because if you exhibit the precious graces of the Spirit of God, that means you're being led by the Spirit, not your emotions. Passionate is led by your emotions. When we are being led by the Spirit, it may make us apt to want to breathe. Talk to God about how we might have to handle it. Because what I will say, I may have to repeat myself. I may have to repeat myself because that is a forgetful man. But I watch the things that he has taken in, and he is definitely women is here for me. But if you are patient, I'm not his wife, but I can only imagine that that's why it says a sanctified wife sanctifies her husband. If you are patient, if you are being led by the Spirit, they pick up on it and they fall in line. When I tell you that that man has never taken a cart, but he gonna sit that cart right beside his truck and leave it there in the next parking space. Well, after I got in this accident, he knows that I like to take the carts back. So it generally will come and to meet me at the curb so that I can take the cart back. But after I started walking a little better, I can get out to the truck, but he know I'm still trying to take that cart back. He done got so I don't got to say nothing. He gonna grab all the bags, go ahead on and get in the truck. But even then, go ahead on and get in the truck. I never one time seen him take that cart back. He sat and took that cart back. You have to look at the small changes that people are willing to make. Even when they have a certain way that you believe that they are. But contention generally is not going to do anything but worsen the situation. That's why the verse says that they would rather be in the wilderness than in a place with a contentious woman. It says, but a woman bereft of thoughtfulness and kindliness seems almost to be a misnomer. That's another word to say that not a woman. Nothing other than a woman. A child, maybe. Not a woman. It says, a contentious and angry woman, no matter how physically attractive, is disagreeable. Zadia was called a mean girl. Jessica and Janelle were called mean girls. They are all off Ready to Love. I was saying it through the whole season for Jessica and Janelle. Zadia, I didn't. I did when they showed that rant with her at that table. I was like, yeah, she a little bit mean spirited, but you can't tell them that because they don't receive it. And Zadia talked about the work that she had done. That she said that on the beginning of make a move, make a move. It said she was in her woosah. Woosah don't already work. Because a lot of these young ladies profess to be in Christian relationships with God. but they are passionate and being controlled by their emotions, and nobody can tell them that. So it gives Mean Girl. And when it's giving Mean Girl, you don't want to hear nobody when they saying it. If you like Janelle, you think that everybody is just hating on you. I think Zadia said it as well. Everybody is not hating on you because sometimes the common denominator is worth you taking a look at yourself. Now, Morgan, while Morgan didn't really give Mean Girl, Morgan was one of the ones that was like, okay, you supposed to be, see, you supposed to be, I'm supposed to be your top choice, but you not acting like it because you still in these other women's faces. And let me tell you what I did to my ex because I think he lied to me, and so I put Nair in his hair. But then you want to be talking to these men about how serious they both be taking you, and you will put Nair in a man's hair because he's not doing what you feel like because he did something. Why not just exit stage left or put him out stage left? Why you put Nair in that man's hair? You Delilah him. You Delilah that man, Morgan. He had locks too. He was just like, because that was her ex that she brought there. He's like, I didn't know what was going on. She was just doing my hair like that. Oh. Whew. She was just doing my hair like, oh. She was just doing my hair like that. And then next thing I know, my hair started coming out. I didn't put two and two together at first, y'all. I didn't never put two and two together. She had to say it on the reunion. I said all of that because they are gorgeous women. Doesn't matter how attractive you are. It didn't say a contentious, unattractive woman. Everybody attracted to somebody. I don't care how unattractive you may think somebody is. There is potentially someone on this earth that is going to feel like that very person is attractive. The beholder and all of that. But it has nothing to do with outward beauty, baby. You're disagreeable if you are subject to your emotions. And trust and believe, man. I started this with Laurent. You're disagreeable too. Nobody should be subject to their emotions. You don't get to be subject to your emotions just because you're a man. It says, and can by her tongue and her wretched ways produce untold misery. Untold misery. By your tongue, by the things you say out your mouth, and your ways. The woman had to, Zadia kept talking about, and Sharice is her own type of hot mess. Sharice, I felt like Sharice was a hot mess on the show as well. But what I will say about Sharice on make when they were on Make a Move, Zadia, look, we feel like some of us feel like you supposed to handle things the way we would handle them. I cannot, because I would handle a situation a certain way, believe that you're going to handle that situation the way that I would handle it. Why? Because you're not me. And that's what Sharice told her. They weren't supposed to be leaving out of the house at night. But on the reunion, you hear Zadia say, I am a whole grown woman. But that whole grown woman lied to Tamika on the episode when Sharice, when Tamika said, are there any issues in the house? And Sharice said, I have issues. There should be house rules. There should be no men in the house. Zadia was upset. Now, Sharice did say that, and Zadia said okay, but then Sharice had to be woken by Zadia the next morning at 7 a.m. to let her in the house that she wasn't supposed to leave out of because she decided that she was going to go spend the night with Cam. But the thing about it was, you got upset with Sharice because she went to Tamika past y'all having the conversation about men being in the house. Because then she had to wake up and open the door for you after. No, you might not have the man in the house, but she had to wake up and you didn't say please. She said you ain't say please, you ain't say thank you. You ain't say nothing. You just act like I was obligated to get up and open this door for you when you did something that wasn't supposed to be done. And when she got on the reunion show, you want to talk about being a whole grown woman, but you lied about it on the show. And then she had to drag it out of you by throwing your word. Come on, grown woman. We just want to know, where were you at that night? You said you were a grown woman, meaning you don't have to answer to anybody. But if you don't have to answer to anybody, what's wrong with the truth, baby? But then you said that young lady, well, I didn't see nowhere where she was just bullying her. I saw where she kept bringing situations up. Was Sharice a little bit extra sensitive when she made the comment about her and LJ kissing? Yeah, they ain't never showed no video footage of them kissing, but Zadia said they kissed on the lips. So she was like, "That's why you was out screwing Cam." All each of their business. I think Sharice was a little bit overly sensitive at that, but other than that, there was nowhere that they showed that Sharice was bullying her. Zadia tried to bring back up the situation about the for her healing's sake, she wanted some resolution with Sharice. But Sharice was like, I left it in the past. I don't want to keep talking about it. She had every right to say that as well. She had every right to say that. Your healing journey is your own. I tell people all the time, you might not get no apology from your mother, so what makes you think that you're gonna get what you want out of a total stranger that is on a talk show with you and locked in the house with women that she don't know? IJS. IJS. Better to be in a tent than in a palace with her. No, I say leave all that stuff at the palace. You know how many rooms a palace got? He was gonna go stay in a little tent instead of. Or he don't even want to go to the opposite wing of the palace because you are subject to your emotions. One of the commentaries spoke about Athaliah and saying that Athaliah was a contentious woman. Athaliah was the daughter. It says that she was the daughter of Omri. Omri was Ahab's dad. Ahab and Jezebel was married. Some of the scholars say that she was the daughter of Omri, but she was orphaned by Omri, and so I guess raised by Ahab and Jezebel. But some scholars say that she was Ahab and Jezebel, because it said she was a hot mess. She was the queen. She was made the queen of Judah, but it was after Judah started being evil. So she was around there wrecking shop, basically. She says this woman is always brawling and always scolding. So it's as if he can't do anything right. You more apt to be harping on everything that he don't do wrong. Excuse me, that he does not do right, and harping on the things that he does do right. You remember I just talked about how you put that part up, and I be having to repeat myself a lot about certain things, and I just had to call him and breathe and say some things to him. But I also let him know how much I appreciate him. And I speak on the things that he do right. But I do let him know the things and it's only one particular thing that he keep doing that's frustrating the hell out of my nerves. But it's because it's affecting it's affecting the aesthetic of my household. And I live in my house by myself. So when I have to see my aesthetic affected by something that I didn't do, I'm a little frustrated. But I know I can call on that man for anything. And he gonna go out of his way. Even if sometimes he got to make a whole big thing about it, he gonna generally go out of his way. Now, You know how we was talking about this contentious woman better man to be in the wilderness in a mystical sense. I'm just reading the commentary. It's better to be with the church in the wilderness, and it references Revelation 12 and 14. If you want to go take a look at Revelation 12 and 14, do we want me to see what Revelation 12 and 14 say? Well, let go. But the two wings of the great eagle were given to the woman so that she could fly into the wilderness to her place where she was nourished for a time and a half a time away from the presence of the serpent. Okay. In a mystical sense, it is better to be with the church in the wilderness than the furious, bloodthirsty, and persecuting church of Rome that I be saying we not supposed to follow, and all that I be doing is reading the commentary. I just be reading the commentary. Lord, I thank you for your covering because you said I won't go nowhere, but I'm just reading the commentary in all its worldly glory and splendor. And there was a little commentary from Proverbs 17 and 19 because I was going to work from that, but that commentary fits, so I'm just going to go ahead and read that. There are those who delight in contention. Y'all can go look up 17 and 19 because it's not highlighted, so I can't press it. So maybe let's look it up. Let's look it up so we can know. He loveth transgression that loveth strife, and he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. Self-destruction. You had it for self-destruction. Hey, self-destruction. You had it for self-destruction. Be around here lifting up your gates. I don't know the rights to this music. You had it for self-destruction. Now, backs to the commentary. There are those who delight in contention and are impatient of restraint, demonstrating their love for their own ways. Didn't I say them young ladies don't want you to tell them nothing? They like the way they is. That's not Christ-like to just be sitting in how we is, because Christ said, humble yourself and get them 5 senses in time. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, ladies and gentlemen. Get them 5 senses intact and humble yourself. It says, demonstrating the love for their own ways in their haughtiness, they build up their gate, thus inviting destruction. You just inviting it in. For by exalting themselves, they are near to a fall. Having a wicked heart, they find only evil. Their perverse tongues continually stir up mischief. Haman, proud and defiant, fully, as narrated in 2 Samuel 10. I don't know, it says 2 Samuel 10 and 0, and that is definitely not a verse. That is definitely not a verse. So, let's talk about T.K. Kirkland. We're going to end it on Allison Holker. So, T.K. Kirkland made a video about stepdads and was saying that it's mental illness, like, excuse me, I don't know if he said LGBTQ or just being trans, but he said that being a stepdad was mental illness. He was basically like, go out and get your own family. and everything like that. And the first part of me in my flesh, I just solely went to, yeah, no, that ain't Ray. Why? Because I know stepdads. I know stepdads who are not struggling with mental illness. I know stepdads have been stepdads for all of their lives. I know stepdads that have been stepdads for all of their lives and disciplined those children. I know all of those stepdads. I love them all dearly. I know stepdads that have been stepdads while the dads have still been in the lives of the children. I know stepdads have been stepdads, but the dad is no longer living. There are so many situations that I can name. But when I posted that post, every woman that came on was like, no, that ain't the case. So I had to talk to brother and boo. And I sent the video to brother, and brother was like, I won't go as far as to say mentally ill. But you can do everything for that child, and they still gonna want the loser dad. It's not always a loser dad. That may have been his case, and that may be many cases. And I'm pretty sure those are the cases that TK is speaking about. Because when I said it to Boo, when I sent the video to Boo, Boo just saw TK Kirkland. She was like, see that I love TK Kirkland. She hadn't even watched the video yet. I understand Boo just watched the video. And she understood it. She understood the video. Why? Because sometimes there is going to be the mother that has children that are entitled, and you don't discipline, so you believe that no one should discipline. And so then that stepdad comes into the picture, and he has to put up with the shenanigans of your entitled child because you don't discipline, therefore you don't want anybody to, you're not his father. You shouldn't have brought a man into his life. And if his father is in his life and his father is not disciplining, that says something about you both. Because I will always go back to Mari. When he was having the children go to the boot camps, and a lot of those little young children said they did want discipline. They felt like their parents didn't care about discipline. But then you bring this man or this woman, it can go either way, but we're talking about men right now. TK talked about the stepdad, but I've already covered. Sometimes women, you may have a man that want to come in and try to argue that because a man got money, you got money, you can take it. If we are coming in, I'm always going to say, I don't care which parent becomes the step. When you take on a child that is not yours, that child should never feel like a stepchild. You know, that's a saying, you treat me like a stepchild. It should never feel like an outsider in what has to now be their home. But neither should the man or the woman, what we talk about. That man should not feel like an outsider in his home, especially if he should not feel like he doesn't have a say-so in that child's life. There should be discussions. If the father is still in the life, there should be discussions between the three parents. So I couldn't come out of that saying that what TK Kirkland said could not be the truth, ladies. Because it can be the truth. And if you are living in a household where you have a stepdad in there who has no say, and he probably around that joke feeling like he ready to pull his hair out, you should think about that. Especially if you got a good man, Savannah. You should be taking his advice into consideration. He should not feel like he has to battle with a child. And that's all I have to say about that TK. Now let's talk about this Allison Holt. Because one thing for certain is two things. One thing for sure and two things for certain. Ringo said he was gonna stay on it. And if you go to Ringo TV's page right now, Ringo TV reactions and Ringo TV Raw, you are going to find a million. I've not been able to. Look, he said he's being a better content. He's learning to be a better content creator because he didn't cuss the person out that asked him. I forgot what the person asked him. But when I say, look, God be hearing, because that's all I have said. And I continue to watch the content because he does have great content. And I take from him, especially when he be talking about women, because y'all will hear me say often. He said, y'all are evil. Talking about us. He said, but if y'all are evil, how much more are we? So that's taking some accountability. It's something, man, we evil, y'all is all the more. All the more. But he said that he did not cuss that commenter out because he's trying to be a better content creator. And I have always said he will go on somebody asking a question. So I can appreciate that. Is all that I was saying about that. But I said it to say sometimes people do have busy lives, and you post so much. Be 2 and 3 hours, and I have gotten in the habit of being able to watch a little bit now, go back to it, watch a little bit now, go back to it. But it's not always that easy, especially because he got a million videos over there about Twitch. Because he's not doing this for the family. He will tell you, I am not doing this for the family. Because in his opinion, this is Ringo TV's opinion, and I can understand his opinion. He believes that the family may be working together with Allison. The best friend, Manny, and I got my air quotes up because he done proved basically that won't his best friend. He showed a clip of him on Ellen. I broke my mic and it don't even tighten up anymore. It just be falling and stuff. He showed a clip on him. Oh yes, Ringo. Everybody don't have the money for the mics that you have, but when people are gifted stuff, because man, when people are gifted stuff because they are just starting out, and this is my third mic. My other mic, my brother bought me, and he brought me a little studio thing with it, and he let me know it ain't that expensive, and the thing broke as soon as I did it, and I have to have a computer before I can get all of that straightened back out. I don't have a computer yet, but I'm working on my third mic that I was gifted, and nobody had the money to give me expensive mics. When it's my time, I'll have an expensive mic. I look up numbers, and a lot of the numbers that I looked up are associated with mics up to and including 414. But to enter who, it'd be a lot. He has a lot of content. He's not doing this for the parents because he said for the family. He believes that the family, because now they done did the interview with Gayle King, and Gayle King is high society. He's like he believes that they could have did it with it. He would have probably have loved for them to have done it with him. He was like they could have done it with any content creator or anything like that, but to go to Gayle King, there's going to be money in it for them. He believes that the family may be working together with all. He with Allison, because they can't make no money no other way. They can't make no books messing with Allison. The non-disclosure agreement. She made them sign a non-disclosure agreement to go to the funeral. And I do believe that the non-disclosure agreement covers the fact that they can't do anything in the way of books, no profiting. If they try to profit, it's going to Allison. So he said that he is not doing this for Allison, and he's letting you know that Manny is subject to his emotions because he wants you to feel things. And I would never try to put a cap on anybody's time of mourning. I would never do that because I know that I might still get this joker and share some tabs about several of mine that have been gone for time, much longer than Twitch. So I'm not going to speak about how his mother may be dealing with him, but I also am going to understand because he will let you know that he is a follower of the Most High God. He reads from the Bible, and the Bible tells us that we're not supposed to commit suicide. So he was like, I can't get with being emotional over somebody that committed suicide because I believe that he did not commit suicide, that somebody took him out. I'm doing this for his fans. I'm gonna read you some of what he has to say about Allison. And like I said earlier, she did several People magazine articles prior to this book release. And in my opinion, it felt like she was trying to stay relevant. Now that he was gone, he runs a lot of interviews that he's seen her in, where she is talking about, she should have always been trying to be her own person and make her own mark. But it's like with this book now, it's just feeling like you doing it to his detriment. Like this is all private stuff, and you're talking about you're doing it for your healing's sake. She has spoken about her mental challenges. She has spoken about her. There is a whole video out with her drunk in public. But you want to be talking about his drug use. It's giving projection. It's giving projection. And yes, just trying to see both sides. He could have definitely been dealing with some mental issues. Everybody that I know, people that didn't even know him, everybody that's talking about him saying, yeah, he's not giving the type of dude that was dealing with some mental issues. He was giving joyous, he was giving, he loved people and he loved to help people and he loved life. And remember, there were no drugs in his system when he passed away. And now she done found weed and all kinds of other drugs because she was in the closet looking for, cleaning out the closet and looking for him a funeral outfit. Everybody's funeral outfit don't gotta be new. Everybody that I know has always got a new funeral outfit, but some people may not buy new funeral outfits. Some people have been in the closet looking for a funeral outfit. Found journals. And so she wrote the book based off of the journals, but the book is tearing him apart. Were there nothing in the journals about her? Were there nothing in the journals about her? Ringo says she changed her last name in 2 days after he died. Says she wanted him to be cremated before the autopsy. Says she's trying to buy the hotel. Why is she trying to buy the hotel? Says she want to burn it down to the ground. Why? Is it possible? Is it at all possible that you think somebody may run up on something in that hotel since the people at the hotel ain't speaking about something? Somebody might go in that room and stay in that room and run up on something that connects you or the boule in my conspiracy theorist voice to the situation. Is that at all possible, Allison? I'm just asking. Because Sylvie be liking to ask is alls. He talked about, and I saw that a lot. Black women like this his fight because he shouldn't have married that white woman. And all I said when I saw it, because I saw stuff like that before I even watched his live where he spoke about it. And all I said when I saw it is, woe to y'all if that were y'all. So I want to say Tasha K posted something about it, and there was a lot of black women up there talking. He shouldn't have married no white one. Woe to y'all. That was y'all son think that he should. You can't control what that man do no more than you can control what your other children do. The very women, the very ones that's saying it liable to have a son that grow up and do just that. But you seem like you have contention for the white women and not looking at the fact that this young man could have very much been taken out. I don't care who he was married to. He ain't deserved to be taken out if he was taken out. But they say it's a new man involved. And Ringo even questioned that. Was he around before Twitch? Was that who was helping her in the closet? Could they be trying to cover up some things? Good look. I do believe that Willie D be getting his stuff from Ringo. But it's a lot of content creators out here. I think O'Shea and Street Media watch each other, and neither of them says I can't know which way it goes, but they post a lot of the same. A lot of times I see it on Street Media first, and then I see O'Shea post it. But what they not around here doing is tripping off the fact that they not nobody is giving them credit. I give credit because it seems like people be butthurt if you don't give them credit, but I can appreciate the content creators who don't be butthurt because they not getting credit. Because it's a form of flattery in a sense of somebody just taking your content. But I think it probably affects people because somebody might be getting paid off what they not may not be getting paid off of or get more recognition. And it might be their content. So I just be shouting out. I'm just a little old me. That's all. I'm just a little old me. But y'all need to have a different outtake. That's my opinion. You should not be more concerned on if this man was taken out, or less concerned on if this man was taken out because you don't like the choice of spouse that he chose. That's really ridiculous. That's really contentious contentious. He asked this question. He said, "All of the relationships you had that could have gone wrong, was it all your fault?" He was asking that to a particular commenter. But that commenter never responded because she was the one that said it, and so he stopped. Ringo begged the question, how could you not see that he was depressed and addicted? Me and Boo talked about Robin Williams and Ringo. Something about Robin Williams' eyes. And you saw him laughing and smiling all the time. All the time. Like those could be things that can be looked at. But possibly in the interim, it's possible that people can be around someone that is depressed and not recognize the symptoms. Addiction, something different. Though. An addict gonna be an addict, gonna be an addict. They gonna act like an addict. They gonna do addict things. They gonna act addict ways. They gonna feel addict feelings. I think it's hard to be around an addict and not know that they're addicted. But Allison was cutting food when she was out there drunk as a skunk in public. Ringo seems to think that like it was the other way around. She's projecting that he was trying to protect her because she was out there wilding out with addiction and mental illness and stuff like that. I'm just talking about what Ringo be talking about, Saul. So this is what she said on people.com. I want to be clear that my only intention in writing the book is to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen to help other people. I've not heard a bunch of her story yet. I've not heard really, unless Ringo is there because I haven't read the book. He read the book. A lot of what's going on is just talking about Twitch. I don't know if I'm gonna get the book so that I can see if her story is in there. Because all I could think about is nobody was really interested in you. So would they have really been interested in your story? I'm just asking a question. That's all. That is all I'm doing. And why part of your life with him? Was there any good part that was talked about? Because the bad part is happy. A lot of times people go with that bad part. They're gonna remember more about that bad part. Is there anybody out there covering content to the good part that she might have talked about? Maybe I should Google good things Allison had to say about you in her book. So I'm not really keen on because I believe wholeheartedly. I will not say that she was guilty of taking him out, but I believe she knows something about something. And I do believe he was taken out. She knows more than she's letting on. Ringo, um, his mom said that she wanted to read the memoirs because they were his thoughts. Ringo said, "You are they his thoughts or are they Allison's thoughts? Because if you don't have those journals, we only know about what Allison put in there. If you, the brother said that he would like to see all the journals. If you don't have all those journals, you only know what Allison put in there, but you don't know if they were Twitch's thoughts. Because we in a society that just gonna cap for women. The women that's gonna cap. One thing for sure, and two things for certain. She's taking down stuff off of Instagram, taking down people's comments, taking down some of his posts off of Instagram. It's crazy. And when I said he feel like everybody working together, he feel like Ellen as well. Allegedly, he feel like everybody's working together. The family, Ellen, Allison, Manny. Because Manny be coming from Ringo, but Manny will be the low fruit on the tree right now. All of them is up in status. The family just by way of, but Manny is the low fruit on the tree. Manny was on the Ellen show before, and he was gifted some money to start a business. I think he was married at the time, but Ringo said he's not even married to that young lady anymore. But Twitch also, he was being honored by Ellen, and he bought his mom and his best friend, and the best friend that he brought was not Manny. He says he believes they helping her to promote the book, not concentrating on finding out what really happened to Twitch. He said Amazon is filtering the bad reviews. He said when he first went on Amazon, he saw the bad reviews for the book, but now they're filtering the bad reviews so that the book will sell. So if the book is getting bad reviews, what does that say about the book? The book was getting bad reviews. It makes me want to go and look at the reviews. I think I might take a look at Amazon once I get off this live, just to check out the reviews on the book. I don't know. And he's saying now the news is gonna profit because they're on Gail King. So they're gonna make a little change. Gail gonna make a little change. The mainstream is involved. And Ringo has been speaking about it. And whether Willie D is taking Ringo's They both have been speaking about it since he passed away, and they both said that they would stay on it. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that, and I can appreciate that they both have stayed on it. But really, D, if you're taking Ringo's content, can you please give him some shout outs? I mean, if you're the bigger content creator, I mean, if you bad, say you bad. Like, people been questioning you since you put out that Cat Williams. Since you put out that Cat Williams interview, as if like you had a whole new Cat Williams interview, because you was trying to get some of that Shannon Sharp fire, and yours just did not hit like that. I couldn't even watch it. Look, Ringo said he believed Twitch was a gym head. He said you cannot be a gym head and be on alcohol and drugs like that. What you say, what you say, what you say, huh? What you say, what you say, what you say, huh? What you say, what you say, what you say, huh? What y'all think about that? Do we got any alcoholic addicted gym buffs out here that anybody know? He was a dancer. And I know we might say she was too, but she is what she is. I don't really remember her from So You Think You Can Dance. I really don't. I really don't. I remember who I remember, but I only remember her because I don't remember her until after Twitch passed away. I don't know. I ain't know nothing about him and his wife or nothing like that. I didn't know Allison Holker until after she passed away. And I care to think that probably a few folks probably feel the same way I feel about that. IJS! But it would just be really, really, really hard. Look, shout out to me, because I was a smoker. And I did not smoke the cigarettes. But I have not smoked a smoke since December the 31st. And I said all of that to say, I believe that I have been dealing with some, not emphysema. What is the, bronchitis, some bronchial issues from the years that I have been smoking. Now, I've been smoking off and on 30 years. Howsoever, 2009, I tell everybody, because I say off and on, because I stopped smoking, start back smoking, and I have a family member that whenever I started back smoking, if I was around her and wanted to hit her blood, she was gonna be like, no, I'm gonna buy you some smoke, and then we could smoke together. I'm not going to be involved in your starting back smoking. I won't take that on, basically. In 2009, when I stopped smoking that, I attributed that to God taking the taste out of my mouth. A band of women surrounded me in prayer, and they prayed and they prayed and they prayed. And when I say I did not touch it for 3 years, the very next day after those women prayed, somebody that was in my life tried to come bring me a blunt. And we used to, our children were friends. And I was friends with him and his wife, but me and him was tighter. There was nothing at all romantic there. But he used to get smoke and give me smoke and all that stuff like that. So he tried to bring me a blunt. That day after that band of women prayed around me, started calling me Shirley Caesar. I'm in the bathtub. He's talking to me from the bathroom. I'm gonna leave the blunt here. I'm gonna leave the blunt. Shirley Caesar, what you Shirley Caesar now? God took the taste away from me. And this is somebody else that confesses to be a Christian. So for you to be condemning me because I'm telling you that God took something from me was really weird, first and foremost. I'm going to leave the blunt here. And I told him, if you leave that blunt here, it's going in the trash. So you might want to take it with you. So he wound up taking the blunt with him. I did not think about a blunt for 3 years. On November the 5th, 2012, when the God decided that it was Deborah Jean's time, I left my job because I had just left North Carolina by her bedside on Sunday. And on Monday, I got the call that my aunt was no longer living. I left work because my brain could not do it. The day was almost gone. It was about 2 o'clock when I got the call. Got off at 5. My brain could not do it. I went straight to that family member's house. That you remember I told you that I ain't smoking with you until you go buy a bag. I went to her house. Her and the girl sitting at the table. They passing the L. One of her girlfriends passes the L, getting ready to. I can't move this on. Not for real. One of her girlfriends, but I like to talk with my hands. One of her girlfriends passed the L over me, and I reach out my hand to get it, and she turns around and she looks at my family member, because everybody knew. Everybody in our circle knew. If I started smoking again, I was going to have to go purchase my bag. And then she would smoke with me after that. When she passed that blunt over me, and I reached my hand out to get that blunt, and she looked around at my family member, and my family member said, give it to her. She gonna need it to sleep. And I smoked that day, and I did not smoke again. That was November the 5th. I did not smoke again till New Year's. I'm going to tell you why I smoked New Year's. Because in my mind, I did good. Because as of December the 2nd, we lost my aunt on November the 5th. As of December the 2nd, her son and my sister were gone in a double murder. I ain't smoked that day. I fell to my knees in prayer. God encamped angels, literally encamped angels. They came and they prayed with me on December the 2nd when I got that news. And God kept me. New Year's Eve, I left church and I went to my girlfriend's. They were smoking, and I decided to smoke. And that started the chain event, the chain reaction. He came back with all of his friends. And Boo will tell you that, or whenever me and Boo talk about it, he say, go back to it, he come back with all the demons for the last 12 years. Have I fought myself on a regular basis? So many times I felt like I just wanted to quit, and it felt impossible. But all things are possible. But guess what won't go happen? God was not going to take that taste from me again. God was not going to take that taste from me again. God said, you're going to have to say no. Woo. You know how many times I said no and lied to myself? It got real heavy after I moved in here. Like it got real heavy after I moved in here. Lord, I need you to help me meet you at the no. God said, I done helped you. You're going to have to say no. So I said no on December 31st. All of that to say, those 12 years, I never remember a time before 2009 where it felt like my chest would just, it felt like somebody would choke in my chest, just choking my chest. Never felt like that before 2009. It felt like somebody just had my chest in a chokehold until these last 2 months. My breathing feels a lot better. My singing voice knows that my breathing feels a lot better. To God be all the glory. Excuse me. I didn't have nothing to drink. That's why I'm sitting over here just like, And I'm finna get off now, so it really don't matter. I didn't have nothing to drink. Y'all know I normally have something if it ain't nothing but a bottle of water. To God be all the glory. Yes. If you're addicted to something, any form of smoke, and the only, I don't really know how narcotics go, but I think unless you're shooting it up, anything that you have to smoke. She said he was smoking weed, and I don't know what the other stuff that she found consistent. But anything that has to deal with smoke is going to affect your chest. It's going to affect your breathing. I'd say it would be hard to dance the way that young man always danced if he was just like full of smoke of any sort. That's all. And I'm wondering. You know, I said that she got arrested for public intoxication. That was in 2018, but the video is just being released now. Now, was it that Twitch kept the video from being released? Even if he did, I believe that the video was leaked by her. I believe something about me just believes that that video was leaked by her. That's my opinion. It's alleged, but I believe the video was leaked by her also to promote the book. Because all publicity is good publicity. And look, I did this. I believe anybody that's saying that he deserved this because he was married wrong and just as evil as the persons that are involved in it. If you feel like he was deserving of this because he married the wrong person, woe to you. Look, Ringo brought up that she said she was he left her with $1 million in back taxes, but she went and bought a $5 million home with a mine. So. And if he was an addict, I don't know if this was me that said this or if Ringo said it, so I'm gonna say Ringo's name just in case it's something that he said. But if he was an addict and he was so depressed that he wanted to take himself out, wouldn't it have been kind of likely that maybe he would have been stoned out of his mind the day he left? Like they would have been able to trace some drugs in his system and alcohol if he was an addict? That's just a question that I have, you guys. Well, live's done, y'all. I appreciate y'all for sitting around. We done talked about the Boy Scouts of America just being named Scouting of America. We talked about these contentious women, controlled by their emotions and that not being a good thing. Talked a little bit about humbling yourself and not being led by your five emotions, not being led by your five senses, but walking in the spirit as a man or a woman of God. We talked about We talked about Dank DeMoss and her suing Lyft, and in my opinion, still not really rationally taking a grip. Anytime you skinny in your mind, but you can't breathe when you slide into a chair, that's just a bit much. Rationally, just like taking accountability for herself and her actions. And it could be, like I said, that she could fit in smaller cars, but that man, if his car won't no good, she won't gonna fix it. Lyft won't gonna fix it. And then we talked about this Twitch and this Allison Calder. So I do appreciate you. Hello, beautiful. The God said that there are things that it wants us to do. It wants us to humble ourselves, and it wants us to walk in the Spirit and not be led by our five senses. Being led by your five senses is the epitome of being a thermometer, that every time the weather changes, the thermometer is going to change, and being a thermostat, which is in control of the temperature. Beautiful, it's been a long time, and I am out. I cannot stretch this left hand to turn that off, so it's going to take a little minute.